Hey there, how are you today? I hope you're good. I am completely obsessed with the song When It Rains by Paramore. I know it's such an old song, but it's just that I remember of it out of nowhere and then I fell in love again. But that made me think about something. What is Paramore up to anyways? Because it's been over 4 years they released After Loover, and it seems like we're getting closer and closer to a new record. So for today's video, we're gonna do a quick recap of what Paramore has been up to lately and what we can expect from the new album. Let's go. If you have been paying attention to music news this year, you might have noticed how Paramore's name seems to be going around quite a lot lately for a few different reasons. One of them, and let's get this out of the way already, is because of Olivia Rodrigo's interpolation of Paramore's Misery Business in her breakup hit Good For You. After many fans noticed how similar the two songs were, and after a mashup of the tracks went viral, Olivia's label retroactively credited Hayley Williams and Josh Farro as co-writers in August 2021. And even though the two parties have been reportedly in touch before the release of Good For You, it still created a funny situation. Not to say embarrassing. The co-writing credit means both Hayley and Josh can now receive royalties for Good For You, which are speculated to amount in the US alone to $1.4 million, which would have been split between Olivia's team and Hayley and Josh's team, but it's still a lot. And at the time, Hayley even reposted an Instagram story by her publisher that highlighted the Good For You's #1 pick in the US Top 40 chart with the caption that says, "Our publisher is fighting right now." And speaking of Hayley's Instagram, more recently in October this month, yes, she archived all of her posts and announced that she was quitting social media. She said that she's been on social media since she was 15 and that it soon became part of her job. She said that it was a great platform to connect with fans, but she was deciding to step away because she needed to set boundaries between work and personal life. This is what she wrote: "Connection is and always will be part of my job, thankfully. As for my own personal experience with social media, I just don't want it anymore. I've carefully considered this decision for almost a year now, and now I know for sure that my desire to move on from personal accounts, yes, even my Finsta, is based on nothing more than my interest in keeping a boundary between a public and private life, and wanting to spend more time looking up and out rather than down." Which, let's be honest, is completely comprehensible. But she finished the announcement saying, "If you're looking for me, don't look here. Follow Paramore." That decision, and especially the last phrase, is really interesting if you consider that earlier this year, Hayley released her solo album Flowers for Vases. So when you stop to think about it, she could easily just hire someone to manage her social media and keep promoting her work. But instead, she told us to head to Paramore. And the fact that she told us to head to Paramore seems to hint that we might be getting new music from the band sooner than we think. After Hayley released Flowers for Vases in February, a fan asked if she had unused songs from the project and if she would consider using them for Paramore. She said that yes, she had more songs, but that she wasn't planning on another solo album and that she wasn't sure if they would be great for Paramore. Then she said, "I'm ready for the next Paramore album. Let's go." Hayley wrote and performed all of the songs on that album, which was written and produced during the COVID lockdown. So another fan asked if that meant that she would be a little bit more involved with the instrumental writing process for Paramore's upcoming work, and Hayley answered with, "I wouldn't say I've been uninvolved up until now, but the thing is that we grew up playing together and learning and then relearning how to write together. They are my favorite musicians in the world, and I'm excited to see how our writing together grows for this next project." And then added that she's mostly looking forward to hearing whatever the next Paramore songs will sound like. Then in April, Hayley posted a screen grab of a conversation with Zach Farro, Paramore's drummer, where the two of them discussed Paramore 6 and probably reflect on getting old because Zach used old people's emoji. And 2 days later, during a live stream to promote the band's partnership with Colin Estrada for Earth Day, Hayley finally confirmed with all the words, "Yes, we are working on a new album." Cheers, cheers, cheers. It's coffee, but cheers. And in the meantime, Paramore also made their 2 iconic songs from the Twilight soundtrack, Decode, and I Caught Myself, available on Spotify US. So the fans are getting more and more hyped. Which was very smart, by the way, because suddenly, out of nowhere, Twilight blew up on TikTok, so let's get that back. So, what can we expect from the new album? Their 2017 After Lover already presented a sonic shift from Paramore's previous work, with a more 80s inspired pop rock and aesthetic. The lyrics also addressed subjects that were more related to anxiety and depression. After the band finished the tour to promote the album, they decided to take a break because the band has been working non-stop for nearly 15 years, and that was taking a toll on them. During the hiatus, each of them, Hayley Williams, Zac Farro, and Taylor York, turned to their individual projects that weren't related to Paramore. So they have been able to explore different sounds, different themes, and experiment more with their work. In Hayley's debut solo album, Petals for Armor, which was released in May 2020, her singing style is completely different from what Paramore fans were used to. The sound is also different from Paramore's signature pop punk, falling more into art pop, indie pop, and synth pop. Hayley also got more personal with her lyrics. She said that the album title came from the realization that the only way for her to protect herself is to be vulnerable. In her song That Horses, for example, she exposes that she was the other woman when she started their relationship with her ex-husband and how that hurt her. In Flowers for Vases, Hayley turned into folk and country folk and got even more vulnerable, approaching subjects like heartbreak, love, and mental health, again taking a different sonic approach from her previous work. Both albums had a positive reception and showed a different side of her that the audience still really didn't know. Petals for Armor was also co-produced by Paramore's guitarist Taylor York. When Hayley was promoting the album, she said in an interview that they had been talking about who would be a co-producer for Paramore's upcoming album and what styles of music they might want to fuck with. And Zac Farro, by the way, has also been experimenting a lot with his project Half Noise, which also takes the alternative indie pop, synth pop route that is completely different from the vibe that we're used to see in Paramore. His fourth studio album, Motif, is coming out this November 5. I know, and just by listening to the two singles he released so far, you can already feel that the song has a retro energy with saxophones and a cinematic view of love. Zac's previous work with Half Noise also sounds much more relaxed and chill than Paramore's pop-punk roots. His music has been featured in Spotify playlists with names like Feel Good Indie Rock and even Surf Rock Sunshine. Zac also runs an indie record label called Congrats Records, which supports local Nashville musicians who also have this indie pop sound. Now, in another interview, Hayley said that Taylor mentioned things like, and that the band had been going back to a lot of older music they grew up listening to, like The Rapture, Yeah Yes, and Queens of the Stone Age. So I would say that we can expect an interesting mix of reference. And when it comes to the lyrics, we're much more likely to see more mature and more introspective vibes based on what we got in After Lover. And also the fact that the band has grew up, right? So that teen angst doesn't really fit Paramore anymore. And dude, that's it. I'm super excited for this. I want to know what you think, okay? So comment down below what you think. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, what's wrong with you? Why you didn't like it? Bye.